You often wake up between 3 in the morning and 5 in the morning. Well, if this happens to you, today's video will be of interest because we're going to explore why this happens, if there could be some kind of cause that might be a little paranormal, and most importantly, exactly what you should do when this happens to you. When you wake up at this time, there is something you can do that will help you achieve your goals in life sooner. Something you probably didn't know until today. But before we begin, it's very important that you subscribe and activate the bell, because we'll be uploading a lot of videos in the coming weeks, and I assure you that you don't want to miss a thing. Now let's get started. Number 1, what it means. Here are 3 types of reasons why this could happen to you. The first one could be natural causes. Perhaps you are going through a time in your life with more stress than usual, or maybe you're not very tired. For example, if you do sports and your body doesn't need to rest as much, that could explain why this happens. In other words, the first reason could be natural causes. In fact, a while ago I made a video where I explained some things that you should never do before going to sleep. You can check it out at the end of this video because it's sure to inspire you. However, there is another cause that some would consider a little more paranormal behind waking up during these early hours of the morning. So pay close attention. For many centuries, it has been said that waking up during these early hours was considered waking up in the hours of the gods, and that you were almost like a chosen one who made themselves available to a higher energy to fulfill their objectives. And behind this, what may seem very paranormal, there is some truth. As always with legends, there's a bit of truth. You know, in the sleep phase, there is a moment called the REM phase, which is when you're asleep. And have you ever noticed an animal that sleeps but is almost awake, with its eye open and its eye moving very quickly? That is called the REM phase, and it's a phase in which we are normally dreaming. It's a paradox because, although we are not in deep sleep during the REM phase, it is one of the phases where it is easiest to wake up. You very possibly, if you've experienced waking up at this time, we're in this phase. What happens is that when this occurs, you were surely actively dreaming, even though you might not remember the dream. So, to speak, you are very close to your subconscious mind, and this is perfect because you will do something when you wake up. Here's what you'll do. First, try to stay as calm as possible. Don't alarm yourself, don't upset yourself, and don't even get out of bed. Although you will wake up and be aware that you're awake, stay relaxed. This is very important because now you'll do the following. Think about this. You've awakened a conscious part of your mind, but you're very close to the unconscious part, and the unconscious part of your mind is the most important to achieve your goals. Have you ever noticed that many times it's said that affirmations should be done before going to sleep and after waking up? The reason is that your subconscious mind is a bit distracted at those hours. This moment of waking up in the early morning is an even more perfect time than before going to sleep. So you'll do 2 things. The first is, in that moment of relaxation, think about something that has happened to you in your life that you feel super grateful for. A nice memory that has happened to you and that you feel thankful for. It doesn't matter if you're going through a difficult time. You can feel gratitude for still being alive, or ideally, tie it to a recent happy memory. In that moment of waking up, while staying relaxed, you'll visualize it. What you'll change by doing this is your state. You'll continue to be relaxed. I'll explain why this works in a bit. But now you're going to be grateful for a recent memory that's super positive. The second thing you'll do is imagine yourself achieving one of your goals. Imagine, in that moment, first feeling gratitude for something that happened to you, and second, visualize something you want to achieve as if you're already achieving it. Get excited. Let that feeling of exhilaration take over you, and even feel as though it's already a memory. What will happen is something very interesting. The sleep phase in your brain puts order on what has happened to you the day before and stores it as memories and experiences. You're sneaking in something that hasn't happened yet, what you want to happen, and your mind will perceive it as if it had really occurred. The most important thing is that you stay very relaxed, okay? Don't get upset or wake up. What I'm telling you might take a minute to do because you'll fall asleep in a fraction of a second, or maybe it will take a little longer if you're a bit restless. But I'm sure that in 10 minutes, you'll be back to sleep. This process is something you can do very briefly, and the next morning, you'll probably remember it very vaguely. Now in a minute, I'll reveal what you can do if you stay awake and can't sleep. But first, let's see how to avoid this from happening to you regularly. If it happens to you once, that's okay. But if it happens regularly, it can be a problem. So I propose the following 4 things to help you avoid this from happening. 1. Avoid drinking liquids before going to sleep. Exercise during the day. Many times when I have trouble sleeping, it's because I've been inactive for a long time. When you're inactive, the body doesn't need as much rest, which is why we wake up during the night. 3. Avoid contact with your cell phone 30 minutes before going to sleep. At most, you can read a book, but avoid the light from the phone. You'll see how this helps you avoid waking up during the night. Affirm. Have a goal card or a goal journal on hand. If you wake up, at least you can use that time to immerse yourself in your goals. Have your goals written down next to your nightstand and read them. What's the dark secret underlying waking up at this time? What does science say about it? Well, there's an answer that might clear up many doubts. Many times we carry habits from our ancestors, primitive humans, and this is one of them. If you think about it, it was once very risky to sleep all night because, for several reasons, there were beasts outside, wild animals that could devour you. Another reason could be that the fire went out and someone had to stay on guard. Our ancestors developed an ability to sleep not continuously, but in segments. Sleep for 2 or 3 hours, do a guard shift, then sleep for another 2 or 3 hours. This is what's known as segmented sleep, and it explains why we sometimes wake up at these hours. Now you understand all of this, and you also understand that there is a very close connection to your subconscious. You can take advantage of this moment to do affirmations you want to fulfill in your life. This is incredible. I remember when I used to do this the most, it was when I lived at my parents' house. At the time, I hadn't yet achieved many things in life, and I was going through a difficult time. But that was when I discovered affirmations and the law of attraction. I did them every day before sleep and after waking up. Even in the moments when I woke up, I would visualize, and it was when my life accelerated the most. Formerly, this time was called the Hour of the Gods, and those who woke up were considered chosen. I still think about this sometimes. That's why I believe it's a perfect moment to ask for what you want to achieve.